What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we're going to be ranking the best players in my team. If I forgot some of your favorite players, I do apologize. These are the best overall. Also, happy Christmas for those of you guys that celebrated, and happy December the 25th. Just any happy Sunday for those of you guys that don't. But anyway, yeah, so these are the players we have chosen. We've definitely missed out on a few. We put all the opals and dark matters in the game. We put a couple of amethysts that I think are really good. Some of the really good diamonds, some of the really good pink diamonds. We had to be selective with some of them, so some of your favorite players definitely don't make the list. So Antoine Jameson, I'm going to put him in solid. As far as this list goes, I think solid is a right spot for him. We're not going to spend too long on this list anyway, but he's solid, decent shooter. Anthony Davis, he could get into that top 10. I'm not entirely sure. He could end up in the top 10, but he is a very good player. Arvydas Sabonis in the solid tier, a very, very solid player. I'm going to put Ben Simmons in solid as well. Arvydas Sabonis just kind of lacks speed. Ben Simmons just lacks shooting. They're both really good players. They have one major flaw. Avoid at all costs for Billy Cunningham. Just a really not good player. Cam Reddish, great. I genuinely think Cam Reddish is one of my top 7 or 8 shooting guards in this game. I don't care. He's an amethyst. The guy's unbelievable. I'm also going to put Carmelo Anthony in great. You could definitely argue Melo should be an elite. That release is just very, very difficult to control for a lot of people. I know some people are going to really like it. I know a lot of other people won't, but yeah, it is what it is. CP3, avoid. Just don't use him. Just don't use him. If you haven't, don't use him. I'll put Clyde in elite. Clyde's hovering between elite and great, but I'll put him in elite. I'll go solid for DeAndre Ayton. A very, very good center. Just does the job. He's just, again, there are just better options. I'll put Buggy in great. Again, in probably that second or third tier of center, but a really, really good card. Derrick Rose, solid, I guess. I don't use him at all. He's not one of my favorite point guards in the game. There are guys that don't make this list that I probably would take over him. He's fine. I'll go great for Detlef. Detlef, a very, very underrated card. It's just he's way too expensive for what he is. Booker is so difficult to stop. I've been cooked more times than Booker. The only players that have cooked me more than Booker are Tim Thomas and Ricky Davis. Outside of those guys, Booker might be the most dangerous offensive player in the game. Mitchell, great week 1, just kind of solid now. Dwight, elite. At that power forward position, Dwight, absolutely elite. Dwayne Wade, top of solid. Like a very good free point guard. Like, there's no... Until Fultz came out, he would have been the best cheap or free point guard in the game. Him or Marbury. They would have been like the two good ones. I think Fultz is better than them, but not by much. I'm going to put Mobley in great. Like, I have a love-hate relationship. I hated him in my gameplay. I hated him the first few times I used him. But I just kind of left him in my team. And he's been spectacular. He just plays... He plays defense for you. If you have Isaac at the 3 and Mobley at the 4, those two guys just play defense for you. You don't even need to play defense yourself. We got Gervin there in elite. Absolutely brilliant shooting guard. I'll put Giannis in elite. I'm not as high on Giannis as most people. I think he's good. And I'm actually going to put Diamond Giannis in great. I don't think there's that much of a difference other than the positions between these two guys when I've used them. And really good. Gilbert, solid. Like, not a bad card. Gordon Hayward's very nice. I'm not like the high... I don't think he's this like absolute top tier player, but he's still really nice right now. Grant Hill, he's an elite shooting guard, especially for his price. Especially, we're looking at a guy that's like less than 200. Well, he's not less than 200, less than 100k. He's like 60, 70k. Absolutely brilliant. Hakeem's going into great. Dwight's more likely to get into top 10 than Hakeem, but it's a tough one. Hito, low solid. Not the worst. James Harden, avoid. Until he gets any sort of better dribbling, I'd probably avoid James Harden, if I'm being honest. I don't think he's bad, but I would avoid him. Then we got Worthy, elite. I still think Worthy is a day 1 card, is elite. Solid for Jermaine O'Neal. Honestly, low great for Jerry Stackers. I really like this card. He's definitely in the lower end of great. He's not in the higher end, but he is in that range. Jimmy, elite. Very kind of... We'll probably give you very similar what Grant Hill gives you. Joel Embiid, solid. Bad release, but he's not too bad. Hondo, avoid. Avoid Hondo at all costs. This guy is... I don't care if you can play a Dom, he sucks. We've got Great for John Wall. Literally just Dwayne Wade with a better release. Jonathan Isaac in Elite. Jonathan Isaac is going into that second tier. He's not quite top 10, but if you want to argue him in the top 10, I'm not going to call you crazy. Josh Smith, avoid. Look, I know he's free. You can get better cards for 5,000 beating this card. I would avoid him. And first player in the top 10, Dr. J. Dr. J, no-brainer top 10. No-brainer top 10 for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Two guys that are incredible at their positions. Dr. J, a great shooter, great handle, great dunker, and just an overall brilliant player. Kevin Durant, high good. Not as high on him because of his release, but he's not a bad player, but he is probably in the high good tier. Kevin McHale, high great. Definitely not AD level, but he is in the high grade tier. Clay, avoid. Like, again, you could argue definitely that Clay's better than some guys in Solid. I just would avoid him because of his price. Like, every one of these cards is either way too expensive for it should be, or the grind is way too long. Just like you'll see a guy at freaking Dark Matter down in this tier as well. But Kobe, I don't know why I got both Kobe's in here. I'll just put the new Kobe in because they're the same card. Elite. I think you could maybe argue that Kobe's a top 10 player in this game. I actually think you could argue that. I wouldn't say he is, but I think it is and there is an argument to be made for it. Porzingis, top 10. The reason why Hakeem is in Elite is because I got Porzingis in my top 10. I think Porzingis is a fantastic card that is super, super slept on. Or one of my top, like that, even though everyone uses him, people just saying, oh, he's not the greatest, he's not great. No, this guy is freaking elite. Corver, solid. He just shoots. LaMelo, I'm putting LaMelo in Elite. He's very, very close to my top 10. Very, very close. Avoid Larry Bird. Avoid Larry Markkinen. I'm just going to get all my avoid players in. Lowry's not great. I just don't think he's a very good card. I know a lot of people like him. Like Pokashevsky, who's not on this list, is better than Larry Markkinen. Like, he's a 7 foot tall small forward. He's a novelty card. The only thing he has is that he's 7 foot tall small forward. He's not a great shooter because of his release. He's a novelty card. And there are better novelty cards than him. He's a novelty card who's just kind of a novelty. And that's it. There are better versions. Trey, get into avoid. Trey sucks so bad. Okay, who else? Anyone else would I put in avoid? Like, you could argue Patrick Ewing belongs in there. Luka. Oh yeah, Luka. Luka sucks. Let me get Luka into that tier. I'm good with the rest of these out of that tier. LeBron, probably top 10. Probably top 10. He is that little bit better than Jonathan Isaac. Lonzo, either elite or top 10. Like, when you're looking at Lonzo, LaMelo, Shea, Magic Johnson, Penny Hardaway, out of those five, it's preference. It is genuinely preference. So Magic Johnson's going to go into top elite as well. I'm not sure which of these guys I'm going to pick for my top 10. The only one I'm sure of is Shea. But I'll go solid for Mark Aguirre. I actually think he's pretty good. I think he's genuinely a good player. Markelle Fultz. I'm actually gonna put Markelle Fultz in great. I actually don't care. He's so nice in terms of release and everything. Like, put him above Dwayne Wade. Get him on the level of John Wall. I'm that high on Markelle Fultz. Him and Cam Reddish. These two guys both going into great tier. I would be so tempted to put him into. I'll put him in solid, but I'd be so tempted to put Michael Cooper in great as well. I'm so high on Cooper. Jordan, solid. This Jordan, you see, it's a tough one for the top. He's not top 10. He's not top 10. I don't know what I'm saying. It's not even a debate. He's not top 10. Ricky Davis and Dr. J, he's not top 10. Mike Miller, high solid. I wish I could move. I'm going to move Detlef down. I wish I could move Mike Miller up, and I'm also going to move Gordon Hayward down. If I've got this type of tier, I'm going to move these guys down. But, yeah. OG Anunoby, solid. Solid for Ewing. Paul George, low great. I don't like PG. I would take Cam Reddish over Paul George, and I will say that right now. Like, if you ever want to argue with Cam Reddish, I would take Cam Reddish over Paul George. Penny, Like, this point guard one is so tough with these four. These four guys beside each other at the bottom. It's so tough who's going to get my second spot. Rex is going to go into great, though. Rex, such a nice shooter. Really good release. Great dunker. Just a really good player in this game. Very high solid. At this stage of the release, it does hold Jefferson back. He had his time. He was great for his time. Ricky Davis, top 10. Absolute no-brainer. Him and Tim Thomas are like my 2 guarantees for my top 10. Ron Artest, elite. I think you could maybe argue Ron Artest better than Kobe, Jordan, and all these guys. Like, I don't know why I said Michael Jordan, debatably top 10. He's not even as good as Kobe. Maybe not even as good as Ron Artest. Rudy Gay, elite. Elite. I'm very, very high on Rudy Gay. Nah. Let's move Rudy Gay down to great. And let's keep Westbrook and Scotty in great. I think Westbrook is the highest of great. He might be like the very best player, and he's someone that you can probably bring up to elite. It's just, for me, we don't want to... There's only like, whatever, 15, 20 players in this tier. What we don't want to have is like 7 point guards in this tier, whereas we're already gonna have these 3. And I think that the 5 of Shea... I think Shea and these 4 all belong in the same 2 tiers. I think there needs to be... Whichever I put in the top tier. And it's... I'm going to put LaMelo. LaMelo's my favorite of them all. And I think that these 3 need to be in a tier their own, just ahead of Westbrook. Scotty, very solid though. Scotty's a really, really solid card. Shaq. Look, he's the best in the game at what he does. I'm not going to put him as top tier, but he's the best in the game at what he does. So we have got our center sorted, our 2 guard sorted, and our point guard sorted. So we need 2 power forwards and a small forward. Solid for Sharif Abdur-Rahim. Solid for Taco Fall. S for top 10 for Thurl Bailey. Look, again, this is purely preference. I genuinely love Thurl Bailey. He's one of my favorite cards in the game. Thurl, unbelievable. An obvious inclusion in top tier is Tim Thomas. Like, you're not going to put him. So we've got one more player in top tier, and it's going to be Tim Duncan. So I'm going to have Tim Duncan in here over AD because I just prefer Duncan. I think he's way better on defense. And jump shot wise, I actually don't necessarily prefer AD to Duncan. I think they're both very, very good. So he's going to go in this top tier. And then last 2 guys, we're going to just put wherever Sabonis is. So I'm guessing solid for him. And Tracy McGrady is going to go into the elite tier players. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I got these guys down at the bottom. We got 10 in a void. We got a whole lot in just solid players. We got some guys in great. We got top 10. And we got our top 10 players. So for me, the best team in the game, LaMelo and Shea at point guard. Honestly, if you have 2 of those 2 guys, Penny, Lonzo, and Magic, I'm not going to complain. And shooting guards, I think almost everyone will have Dr. J and Ricky Davis as their 2 best shooting guards in my team. Small forwards, everyone's going to have Tim Thomas. The second small forward is going to be between really LeBron, Giannis. Maybe if you want to play AD and move Thurl there, Jonathan Isaac is another player that could be in that conversation. But it's just that second small forward. The best power forwards, I think this is one where people are going to have very different views. Like, some people are going to have Anthony Davis in there. Some people would have Dwight Howard in there. Some would have still have Worthy in there. But for me, Thurl and AD are the best. Kareem and Porzingis best centers. If you want an interior, obviously Shaq's going to be the best. I think Kareem is most people's best center. But obviously Shaq is in the debate, and so is Hakeem. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. That is the tier list of the best players. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.